The hum of clinking silverware and soft jazz filled the upscale restaurant, a space draped in elegance and polished pride. Laughter rippled across white linen tables and crystal glasses, sparkled beneath ambient lighting until the sound of splashing. Water shattered the moment. Marcus Bennett flinched as a stream of ice-cold water hit him square in the chest. The glass tilted cruelly in the hand of a smirking young white waiter. Derek. The water soaked through Marcus's crisp shirt, trailed down to Emily's lap, and splashed across the jacket of their son Jordan, who sat frozen beside them. For a second, the world stood still. Then came the murmurs, the quiet gasps, and worst of all, the laughter. A few nearby diners looked away. Others watched with wide eyes. A few reached for their phones. "We don't serve charity cases here," Derek sneered, holding up the now empty glass like a trophy. His voice was loud enough for half the room to hear. Emily's fingers curled around her napkin, knuckles white. Jordan looked down, his small shoulders trembling. The boy said nothing, but his silence spoke louder than any scream. Marcus didn't react, not yet. He sat still, water dripping from his shirt, his eyes scanning the room slowly, controlled, calm. A single photograph had slipped from his pocket in the chaos, now lying face down on the floor. He reached down, picked it up carefully. His thumb ran across the wet edges. The ink was smudged, but the image remained: Emily smiling wide, Jordan missing a tooth, and him standing proud in a white chef's jacket. Across the room, a woman at the bar froze. The restaurant manager, her gaze locked on Marcus. Her expression shifted, first confusion, then realization. Her face drained of color, but Derek hadn't noticed. He was still grinning, already turning to walk away. "Tables like yours don't last long here," he muttered. Marcus's jaw tensed, but his voice came out soft, steady, spoken more to himself than anyone else. "This isn't over." He stood slowly and followed his wife and son toward a quiet corner near the exit, the photograph still pressed in his hand. Water soaked through his shirt, but he walked tall. Memories flashed back years ago, a night like this, another restaurant, another humiliation. Back then, he was just a line cook. Dreams too big for his title. They'd laughed then too. Said he'd never own anything that didn't have someone else's name on it. But they were wrong. Click, click, click. The manager's heels echoed across the marble floor as she rushed toward him, face tight with dread. "Marcus," she gasped, eyes darting between his soaked shirt and the dripping glass. I didn't know you hired Derek, I assume?" he asked, interrupting her. His voice was low but laced with quiet steel. She hesitated, then nodded, face pale. Around them, the room buzzed with whispers. Diners stared. No one laughed now. From behind them, Derek approached again, still cocky, still clueless. Problem? They can eat somewhere else. Marcus didn't even look at him. Instead, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a sleek black wallet. From it, he removed a business card and walked slowly back toward the center of the room. Silence fell. He placed the card firmly on the nearest table face up. Gilded lettering gleamed to the overhead lights. Marcus Bennett, founder and CEO, Bennett. Dining group gasps echoed around the room. The tide shifted. Whispers turned into stunned murmurs. The manager went crimson. Derek's smirk evaporated. His mouth opened, then closed. Then opened again. No words came. Marcus turned to face him at last. "I own this restaurant," he said calmly. "I own the one across town, and 5 more you've never set foot in." Derek stepped back, eyes wide. But Marcus wasn't done. "I'm not here to fire anyone," he said, turning to the manager. "But every employee on staff, including him, will complete mandatory ethics and anti-bias training immediately." The manager nodded so quickly it was almost a bow. Derek's face drained of color. Marcus turned back to his family. He bent slightly, adjusting the collar of Jordan's jacket, his hand gentle on the boy's shoulder. Then, he looked over his shoulder one last time. "Respect isn't something you hand out with menus," he said quietly. "It's earned or lost by how you treat people." He said nothing else. As the family walked out, the room remained silent, not with fear, but with reflection. Marcus Bennett didn't raise his voice. He didn't demand revenge. He didn't lash out or threaten. He simply reminded them all that true power doesn't shout. It doesn't need to. It teaches. If this story moved you, share it. Let it remind someone today that dignity can't be poured out like water or taken away with a sneer. Subscribe for more powerful stories, and remember, quiet strength leaves the loudest echo.